Hello.
Hi guys, welcome.
Yay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your 702 webinar.
Yeah,
Today,
702.
focus, focus. It was scheduled. It was scheduled for 702. Don't worry. We like to give you 2 minutes to prepare yourselves for the greatness that will come. Um, all zero of you. Yes. So while we wait and hopefully have some attendees, we're going to introduce ourselves. So my name is Jadene. I am 25 years old. I am from London in England. Oh wow, 7 of
Yeah, we
you.
just
You
went
just
from
came
0 to
out of
7.
nowhere. See, I told you they would come. Yes, but now I live in Milan and I teach with the Myers Meraviglio School. So
Exactly.
I am joined today by...
Yes, and I'm Thiago. I also teach at Myers Meravigli. I've been living here in Milan and working for Myers for about 4 years or so now. I'm from Brazil originally, but I grew up in California. And yeah, I think that's about it. So if you guys could also let us know your names, let us know where you guys come from. We can see that there are 8 people watching us, so that's great because the more you guys can contribute, participate, ask questions, make mistakes, I think, that's when the webinars are the most useful. So do let us know. Do consider there is a bit, there we go, there's a bit of a delay. So they just got 4 comments, now. So let's see. We got
Crazy. So we have...
Christina. Christina joining us
Hello,
from
good
Rome.
evening.
We got Sylvia from
Sylvia from...
Parma. Got Sara from Milan and Francesca from Bologna. Oh my gosh, I love that picture. That represents my quarantine very well, if you cannot tell already. Look at his hair. Last couple of days, I've been wearing a hat to my webinars.
No. Lovely, nice. I like when people are all spread out. It's great. So tell us, what have you been doing in the quarantine? And you can see as well, today's focus activity is on music, specifically music festivals. So tell us, is this something that interests you? Do you like music? Do you hate music? Maybe. I don't judge. And while we wait for some answers, Thiago, do you want to read this introduction?
Yeah, of course. So today we, of course, will be discussing music festivals, but also concerts in general, guys. We can talk about them as well. And we'll be looking at modals and semi-modals, which is something that we usually deal with in level 8. So it's something that maybe some of you guys have seen, so it can be a nice review. But if you have not, we'll introduce you to, it's a good, useful structure to use. We can use it with other verbs, specifically to give advice and suggestions. So how to do so more efficiently.
Okay, lovely. And we also have Beatrice, who has joined us. So hello, really nice. She says, I'm from Teramo in Abruzzo, but I have lived in Milan for 13 years. So just, I think probably the main point in that is if we're talking about an experience in our lives, we can say, I have, and then past participle for an experience. And if we're talking about a block of time, so a period of time, we use the word for, not the word since. So just be wary of that. We have Elena from Verona. Wow, so many people. And Sylvia says, I love music. I have discovered a radio garden. I have discovered Radio Garden. Okay.
Yeah, what
And
is
I listen to
Radio
it all
Garden?
day. Not sure.
Yeah, so let us know, Sylvia. That sounds interesting, Radio Garden. And also we got Christina from Rome. She says, I like pop music such as Madonna, Coldplay, And in
Oh,
regard
I
to
love
festivals, I
Madonna.
usually take part in popular concerts. Cool.
Oh. So we would also say concerts because remember, if we're talking in general, um, we use a plural. Wow, so we have two Christinas from Rome. This is going to be
Yeah, they're
very
both from Rome. Yeah.
confusing.
Great. And Christina, I would
um,
just make one little suggestion there. So, just the spelling, they're quite similar, but the sound is a little bit different. So, I've been living, but really nice use of the present perfect continuous because what we have there, I've been leaving, which means to go away. So, I've been living. Okay, but nice construction. Um, cool. Oh, and then we have Olga, who just joined us again as well. Welcome back.
OG, the
OG,
return.
yeah.
Zara says, I like rap music, especially I love Eminem. I like
Oh,
Eminem too.
yeah, me too.
And Francesca. Okay, so Francesca and Elena, wow, there are so many comments. It's crazy. You're both talking about channels on the radios or stations. So a radio is the physical object that plays music, and a radio station is the channel or yeah, the channel on the radio. For example, 97.5.
Exactly. Elena has a good comment there. She says, I like music, different types of music. So, yeah, so I like music, and then I think you maybe comma, different types of music. So we make that in the plural. And a good word you can use here, Elena, if you like different types of not just music, but different things in general, you can say that you are eclectic. Eclectic, as in you like all sorts of music, different genres.
Cool. So Elena's favorite radio station is Radio DJ. Not have you heard of this, Thiago? Do you listen to the radio?
I think radio DJ sounds familiar. I used to listen to it more when I lived in Sicily. I don't so much nowadays. I listen to Spotify mostly, and so I do have some stations, but
Mm,
not the actual radio.
okay. So Olga tells us she's never been to a festival,
Hmm.
and Francesca says she likes that music channel or music station. Yeah, you can say either, because it gives good suggestions about musical events. Oh, that's nice. That's useful.
Cool.
Really cool. Okay. So Thiago, would you like to read the? Did we read it already? Yeah, you read it
The
already.
objectives, yeah, we did.
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed by the people. Okay, so now we have some more questions for you.
Mm.
So feel free to answer these. You don't have to answer all of them if you don't want to. But whichever questions you do answer, please remember to put the question number so we know what you're referring to. So Thiago, would you like to read these?
Sure. So the questions are, do you enjoy attending concerts or music festivals? How often do you attend concerts or music festivals? Have you ever gotten a backstage pass? And what was your favorite event?
Ooh, so what's a backstage pass?
Yeah, so this is a special sort of ticket, I suppose. It can be part of a ticket that you have access to the back of the stage where you can maybe meet the artist. Maybe you can get an autograph, you can say hello, or I feel like nowadays it's more about taking selfies than really getting an autograph, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like you would get a backstage pass for that. It can be quite expensive sometimes.
I see. And yeah, I like that you said artist as well. Because even though I'm sure we all know that art is generally about a painting or something that someone has made, but we call musicians and singers artists sometimes as well. Um, yeah, I guess because they create the music. It's a type of art.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we have a comment as well previously from Christina that says, I usually listen to music on YouTube and I like different types of music. So well done for the self correction. And like Thiago said, so you can say, I am eclectic because I like different types of music, or my music taste is eclectic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, Thiago, do you enjoy attending concerts or music festivals?
So,
Are you a
it's
festival
actually
goer?
funny because I don't really like concerts so much, but I do really like music festivals. Um,
Oh, so
the
what is the
reason
difference?
being, okay, because for me, a concert is usually just an event that lasts maybe 2, 3 hours at most. You have one main artist usually. And what I don't like so much about that is the fact that you have to usually go quite early, you have to line up for hours. There is always a very large crowd, and it's one space. And I'm not a big fan of like that big a crowd all the time. I like music festivals because the space is much larger. You tend to have different stages, and so you're able to kind of enjoy some of the music, and then you can kind of take a break, walk out, go back. If you're also maybe staying there, if you're camping or something, you also have like a place where you can just kind of sit back, meet other people, spend time with them. So I think it has more of this like social element to it, and the crowd is spread out, and so I prefer that more.
Okay, so we also have some answers. So Francesca says, I have just seen the first May concert on the television. I don't know what this is. I'm not very I'm not very in with concerts. Um, but if it's the first May, should it not be on the first
Yeah,
of
I'm
May? Do you know
yeah.
what this concert is?
I do not know. I know that the first of May is a holiday, but I'm kind of looking it up now.
Hmm.
I know
Did you
that
enjoy it,
Andrea
Francesca?
Bocelli had there was a concert in
In the
Duomo.
Duomo.
Yeah.
Um, Elena also says, yes, I enjoy attending concerts in my city in the summer. There are a lot of concerts. So don't forget, because you did it for the first one. But if we're talking about something generally or more than one thing, so a lot of things, then we use a plural if it's countable. Okay, and concert is countable. Um, but lovely. I would like to go to some summer concerts. It's nice to be outside. Zara just says, yes, of course. Yes, I like them. Okay. Um, so Olga, as she mentioned, she'd never been to a festival, but she would like to go to Rihanna, Beyonce, and Drake's concerts
Oh, I would also
because
love
more than
all
one.
three of those. That sounds great. Yeah.
Maybe a little collaboration.
Yeah, definitely. So Elena is a big concert goer. I attend concerts in my city or near my city every year. Great. Um,
Mhm.
Concerts in Rome is my favorite.
So remember, guys, we're using plural, okay? If we're talking about more than one concert, we use the plural. And
Mm-hmm.
because we're using the plural, we don't use the verb to be is, we use the verb to be are. So concerts in Rome are my favorite.
Exactly. Christina says the last time you don't need when in this case. Christina can say the last time I attended a music festival was last year in the summer, and it was great and fun, fantastic. Sada says no, I haven't. So okay, she's never gotten a backstage pass. Francesca, I would like to go to a jazz festival. Yeah. Beatrice, I don't attend often to the. So you can say here, Beatrice, I don't attend concerts often, but sometimes I like them, maybe because we would have to put a plural here. The last concert was Negramaro last summer in San Siro. Oh, guys, great! All these contributions, fantastic. Christina says Lady Gaga's concert was amazing. She performed at Circo Massimo Arena in Rome. We were more than 300. Oh yeah, Lady Gaga, she can put on a show. I don't know if you guys have
I'm
ever
sure.
seen the Super Bowl performance by Lady Gaga. I think it's from 3 years
Oh
ago.
yeah, well she jumped
She
in.
jumped. I mean, that was amazing. Like, yeah, I mean, I do really like Lady Gaga, but that was like insane. It was so good.
Yeah, so just another note, guys. Remember to use your possessives, okay? So Lady Gaga's concert because it's her concert, Drake's concert, etc. We need, if we're doing a possessive, we put an apostrophe and an S.
Trampled. Yeah, it could be trampled by people under their feet. I think is what you're trying to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, but trampled is enough because to trample is an action with our feet. You can only trample using your feet. To trample means to have many people stand on you. It's very sad.
Yeah. Makes me think of Black Friday sales in the States. Um,
Exactly.
Sylvia, wow, really cool. I worked in the club for 6 years, and every weekend there were concerts with famous singers and bands. I really enjoyed that period of my life. I was a bartender, and the stage was in. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, to be able to, you don't even have to, you get paid to be there. Of course, you don't maybe have as much fun as you could if you were attending the concert, but yeah, it's a really nice way to still enjoy. I know in music festivals, a lot of people volunteer as well because then they can work for a few hours and then they have access to all the stages after. So cool. Ah, I see. So that's, I guess, is the 1st of May concert that Francesca was mentioning. But so Francesca, this
Okay.
year, did they do the concert earlier because of the virus or because it's April now?
I
So,
I think she's saying maybe because they don't want to work on the first of day of May, but I don't know.
oh, I see. So they do it before. I guess,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
Still like a
It's a
bit
bit
early, huh?
lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know, or maybe they did it. They usually do it live and then show it on the first of
I
May,
see.
recorded. But I am just speculating. I'm just guessing. I have no real idea. Okay. So now we're going to talk about modals, and I think that modals are one of the most important parts of English language because they can change the meaning of your sentence. Okay. So we have some topics for questions, and we need you to make the question using modals. So we're going to wait for you to give some answers, but we're also going to remind you about different modals that you can use. So Antonio says, what does attend mean? And exactly, Thiago, attend means to go to. So right now you are attending this webinar. Okay. So Thiago, will you help me to remind them about some of the different modal verbs we have?
Yes, we have many modal verbs, guys. And the trick with them is also don't try necessarily to learn all of them at once. It's best for you to focus on one sort of use. For example, today we're going to be looking a lot at suggestions and related to suggestions. But yeah, if you try to do all of them at once, it becomes quite confusing. Now, for example, one that we tend to use quite a lot when asking questions about preferences, etc., is would, because would makes it a conditional, right? So, for example, I'm not sure what the exact answer will be there, but for the cost of tickets, okay, I could ask, I wonder how much the tickets would cost. Um, or how much would you pay for tickets? I'm asking about your willingness, kind of your preference in a certain way. Would also gives a lot of politeness to sentences. And so that is one you
Hmm.
see a lot is would. For example,
Exactly.
number two, I could ask you, would you go to more concerts if tickets cost less? So would you be,
Hmm.
are
So
you
here
more
there is
willing?
a
Are you,
condition.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely. So would is very common. Another one that is quite common is we use could. Could is a modal, and could we use to ask about possibility or ability. For example, for number two, I could say, could we go to more concerts if tickets cost less? So, if tickets were cheaper, are we able to go to more concerts? Is it possible?
Hmm.
So, do you guys have any suggestions for questions we can make? And while we wait to see if any comments come in, maybe Thiago will read
Hmm.
numbers 1 to 6.
Exactly. And just to clarify, guys, yeah, don't worry about finding like the right question, okay? Because here we just have so many
Mm,
possibilities. So it's just more
yeah.
about what you guys can think of, all right? So don't think that there is only one possibility here. Um, okay, so we will talk about the cost of tickets. Two, go to more concerts if tickets cost less. Three, how far to go to a concert or music festival. Four, where to stand. Five, recommend a summer festival. And six, the dream lineup. Antonio has a question here. Let's see. So you wouldn't happen to know the cost? Wow, really nice question.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
advanced.
he's got a question tag.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's very natural as well. Like a native speaker would totally say something like that. You wouldn't happen to know. Very polite.
It's
Yeah,
very English. It's
yeah,
very British.
exactly. Instead of just asking directly, right? Just like you wouldn't happen to know. But if you do, it would be great if you were to tell me. Yeah.
If you wanted to, if you could possibly. Lovely. And also while we wait, don't forget that the question structure is still the same. Um, so what is the thing that we use?
We use
Not QWERTY.
quasi.
That's the
Yeah,
keyboard.
quasi.
Quasi, exactly. So we still start with a question word, if there is a question word possible, then an auxiliary verb, subject, and main verb. Um, and usually we put the modal verb. Yeah, the modal will be like the auxiliary.
Hmm. Yeah, so we got some nice questions coming in here. Sylvia is asking, after the quarantine, what concerts would you attend? Yeah.
Perfect, like a condition. I love it. Christina, advice. So using the modal should. You should ask, and usually we would put as well the word about, just because we usually say to ask about information. So you should ask about the cost of the ticket before you buy one. Really nice. Really good advice as well. And number three, Elena has put, how far would you go for a concert?
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, just excellent
Nicely
again,
done,
Christina,
guys.
for using should, which we didn't say. Um, but you remembered. So yeah, here is an example. So we're just gonna go through some of the other examples or suggestions from this slide. So number one, how much should tickets cost? Number two, would you go to more concerts if tickets cost less? Number three, how far would you go to see a music festival?
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, where would you stand or sit? Number 5, could you recommend a summer festival? So again, this is asking for possibility. And number 6, who would be on your dream lineup? So a lineup, by the way, is another way for set list, and this just means the performers who are at a certain show. So usually, if you're seeing multiple performers, the lineup are their names and also the time, the order they will be shown in. We have some more. So Antonio says, I was wondering if there is a summer festival in Rome. So this is a lovely question. But I don't think there is a modal in it. I always get scared in case I'm wrong. Thiago?
No, yeah, I don't, yeah. It's a definitely a good question, though. It was,
No,
again, very polite.
very nice question.
Very polite, yeah.
Yes. Perfect. But see if you're able to change your question slightly, Antonio, by adding in a modal. So Francesca, I would recommend a summer. Oh, it's almost like she answers your question. I would recommend a summer festival because it's because it is better to listen to music outside. So don't forget, we still need the subject after the word because. So because it is better. And then we always say it's better to do something. So it's better to listen to music outside. It's better to go for a walk. So better to plus the base verb. Wonderful. So Marta says, if you'll be in Tuscany this summer, you should go to the Lucha Summer Festival.
Lucca. I think it's a small town in Tuscany.
Luca.
Yeah, it's like a really. Oh, I didn't know they had a summer festival. That's cool. Yeah, lovely little town. Yeah.
And Antonio, could you please tell me or tell us how far the music festival is from here? So again, really lovely question.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget the order in English of the subject, verb, object doesn't change. So please tell me how far the music festival is our subject. And then is. Yes.
Yep. Oh, and then, yeah, Antonio, exactly, Luca.
Ah, thank you.
Perfect. All right, fantastic, guys. Just it's be better. Yeah, no, it's a good advice. Just one grammatical correction I would make, Francesca, is so see, we should use the base verb, so we don't need to conjugate it. It would be better not to. So we also have to invert that. Not to, yeah. Yeah, in festivals they have a lot of information about like safety, etc.
Very funny.
You guys are
Okay,
a great
excellent,
group.
guys.
I'm having so much fun here.
I'm amazed. It was just so perfect, all of you. You've been wonderful. Okay. So now we're going to look a bit at word formations. So, oh, and Antonio also says you should possibly stay home these days. I think so. I think I agree with that. Probably you should definitely stay home these days. Okay. Okay. So, here we have a noun, music, and then we have some other words that contain this noun, and they have slightly different meanings. Because, for example, some are nouns, some are adjectives, some could be adverbs. So I've shown the first one. We have music, musical, musician, and musically. And these all mean different things. So while Thiago and I talk about the differences between them, why don't you try to share with us more vocabulary you know that contain the words crowd, group, and play? So the same as the example, musical, musician, musically. Which other words do you know? Um, so firstly, Thiago, what is music?
Yeah. What is music? Oh, that like sounds almost philosophical. Well, music, I would say, oh, how do you define it exactly? It many things can be, I guess, considered music, but it would be combining sounds in a hopefully harmonious way. So
Okay, lovely.
yeah, and then there's some elements of like repetition, and there's complexity of sounds, and there are different genres of
Ah, I
music.
see.
So yeah, it's a very
Okay.
broad
Um,
definition.
it is. Sorry, I definitely threw you a curveball. What is music? Um, but yes, okay. So music, songs, singing, all of that stuff you can listen to. Um, so if I say musical, or actually, what would we say then is the difference between musical, a musician, and musically?
Yeah, well, I think for the first one, we that one can actually even be used differently, right? Because you musical can be a noun. It can even be a genre of if you go to the theater and watch a movie, you can watch a musical. But it can also be an adjective, of course. We talked about before because musical instruments. In that case, it's an adjective. So it depends on the use, definitely.
Exactly. Okay. And then a musician, Chaga.
Ah, you're asking me. I'm sorry. So, a musician is the person. It's a person who works in the music industry in some way. So, it could be an artist. Yeah, I guess it's usually someone who performs, right? Not just in general, but yeah, a musician.
Exactly.
So, it can be someone who plays an instrument, someone who sings. They're musicians. Whereas musically,
Okay.
that would be the adverb. One you kind of tend to hear is like if someone is musically talented, for example. So an adverb goes
Mhm.
with a verb or an adjective. Um, yeah.
Okay, lovely. So I can see some suggestions have come through, and I'm going to reveal the answers. And you can see for yourself if you got these correct. So, crowd, some words we have. So, a crowd is a noun for a group of people. Crowded is an adjective to describe when there are many people in a space. Overcrowded is an adjective to describe when there are too many people in a place and it's uncomfortable. And uncrowded is an adjective to describe when a place has some space, I think.
Hmm.
It's uncrowded, or probably I'd say it's not crowded.
Yeah, I would say not
Um,
crowded. Exactly. Same here.
yeah, I
Uh,
think
and I think you
it's
guys
more
gave a
common.
lot of these examples already. And also, you guys tried some here that I just wanted to kind of correct. So, for example, Antonio, you tried crowdness, which is a good attempt at making a noun, but crowd itself is a noun. And so you can just say
Yeah.
crowd, okay? And crowdly, I don't think we would say. Mm, no, just crowded. Yeah, I guess you just use the adjective. Yeah, you wouldn't use an
Yeah,
adverb in this case. But again, but good attempt.
I liked it.
You're using the right
I liked
pattern
it.
there, definitely. Um,
Exactly. So then, yeah, we have group again, a group of people or a group of things or just many things together. A groupie, which I saw some of you got, is someone who supports and follows a band, kind of like a fan.
mhm.
To regroup is to have a group of something separate and then to bring them back together. Um, And if something is grouped, this is the adjective we use to describe an item that has been put into a group. For example, I group my pens together in a drawer. And finally, we have play. So, like Thiago said, with musical, play can be a verb to play, like the way children do, they entertain themselves. Or a play is like a theatre show as well, but usually a small theatre show. Playful is an adjective to describe someone who is nice and likes to have fun. A playlist is a list of songs that you have, usually on your phone. And if something is overplayed, it's a song that you have heard too much, and now you're bored of it. You don't like it anymore.
Mhm.
Um,
Antonio has some
so let
great
me know.
contributions here as well.
Yeah, I know.
Even like stuff like
Let me
Playmates,
know.
it's fantastic. Playmate,
Let me
Playmobil.
know if you have any questions about any of the vocabulary, because I went through it quite quickly. But yeah, no, I love it. You've got Elena, player. So a player is a colloquial word or a slang word for
I didn't
someone
even think of that.
who has a lot of romantic partners. You say that guy or that girl is a player. Player. Um, playmate for children. Oh, playback is great. What does playback mean, Thiago?
Yeah, so playback is basically reproducing something that has been recorded, and in concerts, that's something that fans don't like. But it can be that the artist is not really singing live, but there's playback, so they're playing the track and they're just lip syncing, so they're trying to make it seem like they're singing.
Exactly, but really, really great suggestions, guys. I like them a lot. And Playmobil is a brand. So I feel like Antonio maybe has a child.
Yeah, Playmate. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So now we have a text, and Thiago is
Hmm.
going to read it out. And while he reads, you can see there are some missing words, and the word that's missing is a form that includes the word in brackets. So,
Yep.
yes.
So we have my friend Ted is talented and dreams of becoming a famous, or better yet, a DJ. He enjoys music so much that we went to a music festival this past summer. We really like their DJs, or the DJs. They didn't include a lot of songs that are on the radio. The venue was So I lost Ted after the first set. We had a backup plan if we got lost. We would, by the left side of the stage, close to the backstage entrance where the hangout.
Okay, excellent. So, I can see some of you have started to answer as well, but I'll just wait a little bit longer to see if we get some more. But I really love the word backup plan. So, a backup plan is kind of like a safety measure that you put in place in case something happens. So yeah, it's really great. And we have some words. So number one, we have some mixed answers, but my friend Ted is musically talented because musically is we're saying that Ted is a talented person, and then we're further explaining how he's talented. So we're using this adverb to describe the adjective talented. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I see
Is
a
that
lot of you
clear?
guys tried. I think. Oh no, you guys are.
Musical.
Never mind. A musical. Yeah, we need an adverb because we're describing another adjective. So we use adjectives to describe nouns. But if I want to describe anything else, so maybe I'm describing how a verb is being done, or I'm describing an adjective itself, then we would need an adverb. And because talented is an adjective, we use musically. But I think you guys are, a
Very
lot of you guys
nice.
did the
And
number two correctly.
exactly. So he is musically talented and dreams of becoming a famous musician. So someone who plays music, or better yet, a DJ. So a musician is someone who makes their own music. A DJ is someone who plays, for example, on the radio, somebody else's music for the joy of the viewers. Okay, and then Antonio is very fast.
Now, for the next one, I would just say, so we clearly need a noun, right? Because we
Noun.
have a possessive there, so there
That's
something didn't include, and then we conjugate a verb there. So we definitely need a noun that we're missing. So so if you look at play there, which of those are a noun?
exactly. Ooh. Okay, so Eleanor has said for number 4, player, which is lovely, but player is not in our word list. So look again at the list, guys. We have playful, playlist, and overplayed. And exactly, Beatrice. So their playlist, because remember, a playlist is a list of songs that you're going to play. This is the noun for that. So their list of songs didn't include a lot of the songs that are
Yes, that's the reason
yes,
they
I think
liked
French.
they liked the playlist because they didn't include things that. There you go, perfect. Overplayed, perfect.
Exactly. On the radio.
Yeah, I think
And
I agree
then
with this. I guess, yeah, crowded or even overcrowded. Overcrowded is more negative, I suppose, but crowded is not particularly positive either.
it's true. So I would agree. We could say either. But the venue was overcrowded because it's very crowded. So I lost Ted after the first set. And the set is just the first number of songs before there is a break. And then after the break or the pause, there is a second set of songs and sometimes a third set. So then we had a backup plan if we got lost. We would something by the left side of the stage. So they're talking about coming back together
Exactly.
because
Remember,
they
we
have
also
been
see,
separated.
yeah, because there is a moldo as well. We always need another verb afterward. So that's also a good. It should help you decide what kind of word you need there.
And then the last one is close to the backstage entrance where the something hang out. And we have the article the, which means we follow the with a noun as well. So be careful. And yes, so Elena, Beatrice, Christina, exactly. So we would regroup. So we would come together again by the left side of the stage. And then what is the last word, guys?
Yeah, and to hang out, I guess that can be a good one to go over as well because we do use it quite a lot. There isn't really
Yeah.
an equivalent in Italian for hang out. It just means to do something together with. So it can be anywhere from going to have a nice meal at a restaurant, maybe with your friends, to just sitting at home talking, or even just playing on your phone. It's just like a very generic verb. It just means to spend time with. Um,
Mm,
yeah, it's quite common for us to say, "Oh, let's hang out. Let's just do something. Let's spend time together."
exactly. So which of these are nouns, guys?
Yes.
So is it
Right.
groupie, regroup, or grouped? So we know that regroup was the verb. Ah, fantastic. Yes. And well done for making that a plural as well, Francesca. Okay. So then for the last bit of the lesson, because we have a few more minutes. Um, okay, thank you, Antonio. Goodbye.
Bye, Antonio. Thank
um,
you.
so if you have any questions, ask them now. And if not, we have one final task about rules. So it says Kate and Peter are planning to attend, so to go to a summer music festival this year. Their parents aren't super thrilled, and thrilled is like happy. So they are setting some ground rules. Thiago, will you read the rules?
Yeah,
And
of
while he
course.
reads them, you guys can see there's a choice of modal, so decide which modal fits into the gap the best.
hmm So the first rule is if you get lost, you have a designated meeting spot. Two, you have identification on you at all times. Three, be careful about meeting new people. They not be trustworthy. Four, carry your phone with you at all times so you call for help. Five, you call home twice a day. Six, you aren't allowed to go somewhere alone. You stay together. You carry some extra money just in case of an emergency. And finally, you go, but only if you agree to these rules.
Yes, so I think that we went through most of these modals earlier. There are a couple we didn't talk about, but I'm sure you know anyway. So might is like a possibility, whereas must is like an obligation. Um, and ought to, I would say, is like advice. So similar
Mm-hmm.
to the word should. If you ought to do something, you should do something. And excellent, you guys have some answers already. So, number one, if you get lost, you should have a designated meeting spot, so some advice. Number two, um, so
Yeah, so
Christina says might.
it could be a bit too light in that one because might is a possibility. Then you're saying it is possible to have identification, right? That's not really what we're saying here. So I would agree with Beatrice on this one. Must. It's like these are the parents establishing rules to their kids. So you must have
Mm,
identification. It's a lot stronger.
exactly. So, number three, Elena says can.
Yeah, so can is an ability. So for example, I can drive an automatic car, but I cannot drive a manual car. So I'm talking about an ability, for example. Whereas here we're talking about the possibility of people not being trustworthy. So it would be better. Yeah, exactly. Might.
Okay. Um, so Elena says for number 4, could. So again, could is like possibility, and can is like ability. So we would probably use the modal verb here. So you can call for help because it gives us the ability to call for help. And then exactly, you need to call home twice a day. Excellent, guys. You aren't allowed to go somewhere alone. And we've run out of time, so I'm just gonna go through these quickly. Um, you have to stay together. So have to is another obligation. Like must, you have to do something. You ought to carry some extra money in case, because ought to is like should. And finally, you can go because you have the permission. So can is also for permission, but only if you agree to these rules. Okay, you've been really great because this lesson, there is a lot to make sure you practice, but really, and it was lovely to see you all.
Yeah, guys, thanks for all the participation. Really, really good job. Okay. So thank you, and we'll see you guys around later this week, maybe next week at some point.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.